Have you ever stopped to think about why some people seem to go through life with an inexplicable inner strength, while others struggle to find meaning? What if I told you that there is a mark, a divine seal, that distinguishes those who have been chosen by God? Yes, that's right. We're not talking about earthly privileges, but about a spiritual recognition that radically transforms lives. Imagine living with the certainty that every step you take is guided by a divine hand, that supernatural provision is a constant in your life, and that a deep peace permeates your being even in the midst of storms. These signs are unmistakable, and if you've experienced any of them, you can be sure of one thing: you have been chosen. But before we continue, prepare yourself, because what you're about to discover may change the way you see your life forever. Welcome to the Rational Spirituality Channel, a space dedicated to exploring and sharing the knowledge that leads us to an extraordinary life experience. To fill yourself daily with more knowledge like this, subscribe to the channel and turn on the notification bell. Imagine being the person who walks through life knowing they are protected in a way that transcends human understanding. This divine protection acts as an invisible shield, safeguarding not only the body but also the soul from any threat that may arise, whether in the physical or spiritual world. The mark of God, as mentioned in Psalm 91 verse 3, is more than a promise. It is a certainty that plagues, misfortunes, and all kinds of dangers will be kept at bay. It's as if an impenetrable barrier is erected around you, ensuring that supernatural provision is always present. This preservation is not limited to grand events, but also manifests in the small things of everyday life. Think of that time when you were late for work only to later discover that you avoided an accident, or when, without knowing why, you changed your route and avoided a bigger problem. These examples are not coincidences, but reflections of divine protection in action, subtle evidence that something greater is guiding your steps, keeping you safe and preserved. By recognizing this protection, it is possible to live with deep peace, knowing that what is truly important is always protected. This sense of security brings with it a tranquility that allows you to face challenges with confidence. After all, when you are certain that divine protection is present, no obstacle is too great. And so, the path opens to the next understanding. Not only are we protected, but we are also provided for by a force that never fails. A force that ensures that, beyond protection, all needs will be met, just as God cared for his people in the desert. This leads us to the next reflection on supernatural provision. When we talk about supernatural provision, we are referring to that unshakable feeling that no matter how challenging the situation may seem, all your needs will be met. It's as if there's an inexhaustible source of resources that never fails to provide exactly what you need at the right time. Imagine the serenity of someone who, in the desert of life, finds water springing from a rock or receives the necessary food directly from heaven, like the Israelites in the desert. This provision goes beyond what the eyes can see. It is a clear manifestation that divine protection also includes the supply of everything essential for victory in every aspect of life. And this provision is not limited to the material. God cares for both physical needs and emotional and spiritual ones. How many times, in the midst of a personal storm, have you found unexpected comfort, like a word of encouragement from a friend or a solution that seemed impossible until then? This is divine recognition acting in your life, showing that you are not alone and that there will always be a way, no matter how unlikely it seems. The deep peace that arises from this certainty is invaluable, as it allows each step to be taken with confidence and courage, knowing that there is a greater force sustaining you. This trust in supernatural provision transforms the way you approach life. Instead of worrying about the future or clinging to what is lacking, you can focus on living fully in the present, seizing every opportunity that arises. After all, with the certainty that all your needs will be met, what remains is to enjoy the journey and look forward to the surprises and blessings that are yet to come. And it is in this spirit of trust and surrender that the recognition and divine favor, which always accompany those who trust in God, are revealed. Being marked by God is like carrying a seal of recognition that opens doors where there seem to be none. Imagine the journey of Joseph, sold as a slave and thrown into prison, but who, thanks to divine favor, rose to the highest position in Egypt, just below Pharaoh. or Daniel, who, even in a foreign land and surrounded by enemies, was elevated to positions of prominence due to the wisdom and favor that came directly from God. These examples are not just ancient stories, but representations of what can happen in the life of anyone who carries this divine recognition. It's as if, wherever you go, there is an invisible hand guiding and opening paths that seem impossible. This divine favor manifests in various ways, often unexpectedly. It could be a promotion at work, an opportunity that comes out of nowhere, or even recognition you weren't expecting. How many times have you been surprised by a compliment or a gesture of appreciation that came at just the right time, as if it were a confirmation that you were on the right path? These are small samples of what it is like to live under divine recognition. It's a feeling that brings not only joy but also a deep peace, knowing that what you do is seen and valued for what truly matters. With the certainty that God's favor is present, life becomes a journey full of possibilities. It's not just about external recognition, but an internal sense of value and purpose. And when you know that this recognition comes from a divine source, the confidence and courage to move forward become unshakable. This prepares us to understand the next manifestation of this divine mark, the deep peace, joy, and comfort that accompany those who have God's presence in their lives. There is something profoundly comforting in knowing that, regardless of the circumstances, there is a peace that transcends understanding. It's a deep peace, not affected by life's storms, but rather strengthened in them. Those who carry the mark of God experience a joy that does not depend on external situations, but is born from the certainty that supernatural provision and divine protection are always present. It's like an oasis of serenity in the midst of chaos, where you can find rest and renewal, even when everything around seems to be falling apart. This peace is a direct reflection of the divine presence, calming the heart and bringing comfort in moments of distress. This comfort manifests in practical ways, such as when, in the midst of a challenge, you feel an inexplicable calm or receive a word of encouragement that seems to come at just the right moment. It's the presence of God acting silently but powerfully, ensuring that, even in the darkest nights, there is a light guiding your path. The joy that accompanies this peace is not superficial but rooted in something much greater than circumstances. It is the certainty that, even in trials, a greater purpose is being fulfilled. This joy is a constant reminder that victory is guaranteed for those who trust in God. Living with this deep peace and joy completely transforms the way one approaches life. The worries and anxieties that used to dominate thoughts lose their power, giving way to a quiet confidence. And it's this confidence that allows you to face each day with a smile, knowing that no matter what happens, there is a divine hand holding yours. And so, with this peace and joy that transcend the ordinary, we are led to recognize that life, with all its difficulties, is a victorious journey for those who live under God's favor. And it is about this victory that we will talk about next. The mark of God in a person's life is clearly manifested through consistent and significant victories. These victories are not just material or professional achievements, but also spiritual and emotional triumphs. When you live under divine protection and trust in supernatural provision, every challenge you face becomes an opportunity to experience the victory that comes from God. It's as if there is an invisible but powerful force that drives you to overcome obstacles that, for others, would be insurmountable. Each success is a confirmation that, with God by your side, defeat is never the final destination. These victories can be seen in both the small and large moments of life. It could be overcoming an addiction, reconciling a broken relationship, or achieving a dream that once seemed distant. Each of these accomplishments is tangible proof that God's hand is at work, guiding and strengthening you to achieve what once seemed impossible. It's this sense of constant victory that brings deep peace, a joy that goes beyond the simple satisfaction of having won. It is rooted in the certainty that with God, every battle has a purpose, and every purpose leads to a new victory. This evidence of a victorious life not only inspires the one who lives it, but also those around them. People begin to notice that there is something different, something that cannot be explained solely by human effort. This difference is the reflection of divine recognition, shining through every victory achieved. And as these victories accumulate, so does the awareness that each one is a divine gift, an expression of God's favor and goodness. And so, living in this constant victory, one realizes that it is only part of a transformed life, where relationships reflect the nature of Christ. Let's explore that next. One of the most beautiful manifestations of God's mark in someone's life is the reflection of Christ's nature in their relationships. When a person lives under divine protection and experiences supernatural provision, it overflows into love, compassion, and forgiveness in their interactions with others. These relationships are not perfect, but they are marked by a continuous effort to mirror the unconditional love that Christ demonstrated in his life. Imagine someone who, even in the face of offenses, chooses to forgive with a sincere heart, or who, instead of judging, chooses to extend a helping hand. These attitudes are clear evidence of a life marked by deep peace and divine recognition. The impact of these relationships goes beyond personal boundaries. A person who lives this reality becomes a beacon of hope for those around them. Their life serves as a practical example of how God's love can transform hearts and restore broken bonds. Imagine a family that was on the brink of separation, but through the influence of someone who reflects Christ's nature, found the strength to forgive, reconcile, and start anew. This type of transformation is only possible when one lives under constant divine guidance and favor, allowing the peace and joy that come from God to flow through every action and word. These relationships are a living testimony to the power of God in action. They demonstrate that by living according to Christ's teachings, we can build deep and meaningful connections that withstand life's storms. It is precisely in this context of transformed relationships that an unshakable courage is revealed, a confidence that can only come from someone deeply connected with God. This is the courage we will explore next, as we understand how the presence of the Holy Spirit infuses divine boldness and confidence in the lives of those marked by God. The mark of God in someone's life is powerfully revealed through a boldness and confidence that defy common understanding. This confidence does not arise from personal abilities or achievements, but from the presence of the Holy Spirit, who infuses courage and strength to face any challenge. Imagine a person who, even in intimidating situations, keeps their head held high and their heart firm, knowing they are not alone. This person knows that divine protection accompanies them and that supernatural provision is always present, giving them the assurance that anything is possible when walking with God. This confidence, coupled with divine recognition, allows this person to move with unshakable security, knowing that their victories are guaranteed. This boldness enables the person to speak the truth with love, face injustices with firmness, and make difficult decisions with serenity. When you know that God is by your side, fear loses its power, and deep peace takes the place of anxieties. Consider practical examples, like someone who decides to start a new project even without all the resources at hand, trusting that divine provision will meet every need. Or someone who, in a conflict situation, chooses to act with wisdom and love instead of giving in to anger or despair. These are examples of how boldness and confidence, when anchored in God, lead to actions that transform lives and environments. This confidence is not just a personal trait. It is a testimony to the power of God in action. It inspires those around, showing that with faith, no challenge is too great. This courage is not limited to the individual but spreads, impacting the community and creating an environment where victory, love, and deep peace prevail. And so, by living with this divine confidence, the person becomes a channel of blessings, reflecting the light of Christ in every area of their life. In this way, the journey of someone marked by God is a path of continuous growth, where each victory strengthens confidence and each relationship reflects the nature of Christ. You've come this far, and now you hold in your hands the knowledge of the signs that indicate you have been chosen by God. But knowing is just the first step. True transformation happens when you apply this knowledge in your life. So, ask yourself, how can I live according to this divine mark? How can I reflect Christ's nature in my relationships and act with the confidence and boldness that come from the Holy Spirit? Don't be content just to read or hear about these signs. A life of victory, deep peace, and divine recognition is within your reach, but it depends on you to take action. Why not start now? What steps will you take today to align yourself with the purpose that God has for your life? If you resonated with these words, leave a like and subscribe to the channel for more inspiring content on spirituality and spiritual growth. Thank you for joining me on this journey of spiritual awakening. Let's create a community of mutual support where we can inspire each other to live with more inner freedom and authenticity every step of the way. Leave a comment sharing your reflections and experiences with the unmistakable signs that you have been chosen by God. How do you believe you can live more aligned with divine recognition and favor? What signs that you have been chosen by God have you noticed in your life so far? Your story could be the light that guides others on their own awakening journeys. Do you like the content of the channel and want to contribute to strengthening this space of light? See how in the first comment below the video. May the light guide your path, always.